pouring down unto thee. Do not be afraid, your far saving grace. Do not hesitate, let's reignite your faith. Divine encounters are all around. Divine encounters are life's design.
Thank you for joining me, the residential Aquarius, Dominique Rivera, the Oracle of Apollo. And today I won't be disappointing you because we have a supernatural story time. And as always, I fill my cup, and if it overflows, then I have a chance to fill yours. So please drink up with me, and I drink to your health. Sure. Thank you everybody for being here. Let's see your beautiful faces here. Comment right there on the screen and put in some hearts and put in some candles, and let's send love and light into the airwaves, into the feed. Hello, Matthew. Good to see you. Thank you for being here, Kay. And make sure you guys are sharing today's story times, because this will allow other people to also experience the messages that they may also need in this program. Every Wednesday night, I bring you a different divine story time with a different guest. And every Sunday night, you have a chance to get your horoscope with me. And don't forget to learn with me. Please go to my free group, meetup.com, Awaken Philadelphia. And as always, since this is an interactive program, feel free to share the replay or this live, comment shared. Email me at divineencounters@e360tv, ask the Oracle, and you'll be able to win next Wednesday night a personalized angel channeled message blessing. And I have a very special guest here for you guys tonight. I have Mr. Greg Campese. He's going to talk to you guys all about numbers. As you guys can see, I'm rocking my number shirt, 1111. My life path number is also 11. Today is also 11. And it's Veterans Day. I salute you, my brothers and sisters in arms, and I honor your service with my undying gratitude. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Of course, you guys know this is a veteran-owned television show, so holla. But let's get right to it. First, we got to open this vortex, and I think I see a little smudge, but Greg should be here.
3, 2, 1, go.
Hi, Greg. You made it through the vortex.
Hello. It was quite a trip. It's good to be here.
Thank you for being here, everyone. This is Greg, and I'm going to let Greg introduce himself and just let everybody know who you are and what you do. Before we get into the story, we'll save that for a little later.
Yeah. Okay. So my name is Greg Campese, and I am in many ways just an average guy. However, probably around the age of 30, I started my spiritual path, and it led me in many different ways on all kinds of fun experiences. And it also guided me to start my own nonprofit and head towards a spiritual center, because the more I started awakening myself and having all these experiences myself, the more I realized that there's so many people out there having similar experiences that don't have the community and the support and don't have the people to talk to about it. You know, not everybody's receptive to hearing that, you know, you're hearing voices from the other side, or you're talking to angels or seeing things, you know. So I actually started an organization called Awaken Center for Human Evolution. And we started by doing meetups and day events, and got into expos. And I eventually had my own center, and that actually closed down with everything happening in the world right now. But there's more things coming. So once again, like, just I always believe everything is in divine timing, and Dominique knows all about that, how it works and how things flow and how things shift, and you're just always exactly where you're supposed to be.
And I totally agree with that, being exactly where we're supposed to be. So before we get into the good news, which is where we're going to go right after this, I actually want to talk about divine timing. So I actually have a special surprise for you guys at home today. I was on TikTok, and you guys can follow me at Oracle of Apollo on TikTok. And my TikTok, Greg, is not that big. It's like 16,000 followers. So it's considered a small account still. But as I was on TikTok, I ran into this beautiful, beautiful voice with this girl named Annabelle. And I actually want to play here. She's watching tonight. Thank you, Annabelle, for being here. And I want to play her song that she wrote for me. I thought it was so inspired and so beautiful. And I wanted to share it with everybody here on Divine Encounters. So let's listen.
This is for Oracle of Apollo. Okay. Left or right, listen to your mind. So by my side, I'll show the line of where fate will lead. Oracle, that's what I am. I see past the eyes of the ordinary man. Take my hand, I'll guide you down the path that's meant to be, down where fate will lead.
Wow, what
That
do
was
you guys think? Isn't she such an inspired young lady?
that was amazing. That was awesome.
Definitely, guys, comment how you feel about Annabelle's song right there in the comment section below. Give her some support. I love supporting young artists. So there you go. I just wanted to return the kindness. And as everybody's agreeing on that, let's get into the good news. Okay, jumping into the good news, everyone. Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here. Today's good news for the midweek is autumn equinox, and it's all about release. In many areas of the world, deciduous trees prepare for the winter and conserve their energy by contracting their life force. That is, they release their leaves, which have required the rays of the sun and nourishment from the earth in order to maintain robust growth and appearance. It's not a decision the trees make, at least not in the usual sense. Instead, it's a natural response to the decreasing cycle of light that sets up the gradual and steady release of the tree's leaves. How remarkable is it that these trees, and for that matter, all of the Earth Mother's children, simply know what to do with the changes in climate. Although this seasonal shift appears to be death of sorts, it's only a preparation for the next cycle, one that will naturally follow the more extreme contraction of winter as an aspect of the life and death, birth, recycle that we find represented in so many different ways. The message here is now is the time to let anything in your life fall away that is no longer useful or needed for the emerging expression of who you are. Allow yourself to gradually shed what has become burdensome and no longer congruent with your soul's purpose. Conserve your energy by allowing yourself more rest while at the same time making preparations for the winter season. Look especially at your material possessions and be brutally honest with yourself as you discern which of these can be given away or somehow released. Considering shedding relationships that have served their purpose and are no longer viable, as well as work or a job that has become devoid of interest and passion. With release comes a sense of being much lighter, just like the trees that openly bear their nakedness once their leaves have departed and give room for whatever new life is ready to birth following a period of quiet and gestation. So let go of whatever has outlived its purposefulness and trust that something else will take its place. Oh wow, I feel like this is already a very fitting message about release, because I feel like Greg here is already talking about having to release something and then coming into that next phase and just trusting that process. So I feel like it's a perfect card to begin today's talk. Are you back, Greg?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah,
All right.
awesome.
So, Greg, let everybody at home know the beginning. Let's talk about a little bit about the beginning of your spirituality, and then bring us to the point of where you felt like everything had to shift and that you had to see what you were or accept what you were seeing. So let's start in the beginning.
Yeah. in the beginning there was a light. So, I've always considered myself a very kind of open and accepting kind of guy. I always love the idea of psychics and ghosts and aliens and all that kind of fun stuff. Um,
So do
like a
I.
lot of people do, right? And love like fantasy and sci-fi. There's a lot of people like that out there. And was raised Roman Catholic, as also a lot of people out there. But was never overly religious, but just believed in that connection, and that little bit of faith, that things kind of work out if you allow it to. That's kind of as far as my spirituality went. And as far as any kind of divine encounters, or like intuition or anything like that, there wasn't really much of it like back then. The only thing, as far as me kind of having like a psychic connection, like I remember very clearly that, when I was choosing colleges, I ended up only applying to one college. And my parents were freaking out. My mom was like, well, just apply to other colleges, like just in case. And I just had a knowing that I was going to get in. I went to Kutztown University in Pennsylvania, and I just had a knowing that it was fine, that I was going to get in, and just a total peace around it. And it was not even a second thought. And that was probably the first time that really stood out of me having like a real knowing and just certainty about something. And I got in, and it was fine. But it really wasn't until I turned 30, and it was exactly, like turning 30. It was right after that, this all came together, and I really opened up and found my path. And the funny thing is, it was all because of a girl. And you talk about, divine encounters and divine timing. My high school friend was getting married, and he was meeting, and the whole thing, this is just the whole chain of events is just so crazy. So the woman he was marrying, he met because I urged him to get online and try online dating, and he didn't really want to do it. And I said, all right, just go onto my account and just to get on and look around. And he's Jewish, so he only wanted to date a Jewish girl, and like, that's fine. So I'm like, get on there, do a search, whatever. So, and what's funny is because he still didn't want to join, so he actually emailed like 3 or 4 girls like from my account, and was right. I was like, I'm not actually Greg, I'm his friend, just checking out his account. And a couple of them actually emailed him back, and the one he ended up marrying. So I was
Aw.
totally part of that story, and they mentioned it again at the wedding. That I was part of a very big part of why they even met. And so ironically, at the wedding, I was single at the time, and so I'm my friend's high school friend, and his wife, and her wedding party was her college friend, and she was the only single person. And they originally didn't have us paired up. Now, I do have to admit that I interfered a little bit here, because he was going to have me with somebody else, and I was like, come on, man, like, I'm single, she's single, like, put the 2 single people together. So he did, and we got along great. And at the end, I asked her out, and she totally turned me down. And the funny thing is, like, we're talking, and she's dropping little hints about like how she's kind of intuitive and about like ghosts and angels and little things like that, but like not being like too overt about it, just little things here and there. And the funny thing is, because I think usually like she starts talking about this kind of stuff and people go running thinking she's crazy, and the more she would say stuff, I'm like, tell me more, tell me more. But she totally turned me down. And then a couple months later was my friend's wife's 30th birthday, and we all got together again, and she was there, and we totally clicked and hit it off. By the end of the night, we were holding hands. And the reason I'm putting all this in there is because then we started dating, and she's the one that really got me onto my path, because she was incredibly talented and psychic and gifted and a healer. And her whole family was, her mom was this amazing channel, and would channel guides and angels and even Mary and Jesus. And her mother was Jewish, but she even had a relationship with Jesus, through her spiritual awakening. So I got thrown in the deep end with suddenly, being immersed in this spiritual world where talking to Jesus and, your deceased relatives and angels and guides was perfectly normal,
New normal.
right? It was the new normal, and it just blew me away. But it was also very natural, and just every part of me was like, this is truth. This is what it's supposed to be about. This is what we're supposed to be doing. And I also started reading books as well, and it just blew me wide open. And then we broke up, and then I didn't know what to do. And I was sitting there going, all right, so now all of a sudden I've been opened up to this completely new way of thinking and living. And and talking about manifesting and energy and angels and aliens and guides and all this stuff. And it's like, where do I go? Because normal people don't talk about this stuff. Like, and this was a while ago. So, um, you know, there wasn't like, you couldn't just go on Meetup and find like 20 spiritual groups around. Like,
No.
you know, I was looking around, I found one, and they turned out to be a little bit more of a cult than a spiritual group, but it still served its purpose. It still gave me a place to connect, and to grow some more, and to get into more meditation and more about connecting with that inner light. And through all this is like, you know, part of my journey of me just slowly opening up. And I want to add this thing, because this is really important, is when you asked me to be on the show, I was like, holy moly, divine encounters. Like, I mean, I haven't seen like, you know, the light appear. I haven't seen like an angel like manifest in front of me. Because when I hear divine encounters, that's where my mind originally goes, is like these big miracles. Like, you know, I wasn't in a wheelchair and started walking. You're like, why should I be on the show? And then very clear, and this is how it works, and this is part of the story, is like the little voice and the little nudges and the little knowing. And very clearly, as soon as I had those thoughts, it was about miracles aren't about size, and divine encounters can be the smallest little things, and those are sometimes the best, and a lot of times they are the best, because when they're subtle and they're just for you, you know it. You absolutely know that that has been put there for you. And I'm getting chills even just talking about it. And that's why I wanted to talk about like my angel numbers, because when I started connecting with, and I don't always put labels on things, because when I start hearing things and getting nudges, it could be my higher self, it could be my guides, it could be my angels, it could be my dad who's on the other side. And just me personally, I don't need to know exactly who or what that is. It's really more about the energy and the feeling of it, you know. But the reason that I specifically wanted to talk about the angels and my angels by the numbers is because I started doing events. Like, so well, let me back up just real quick. So I was blown wide open. I'm on this spiritual path, you know, like all these new ideas and ways of living and thoughts, you know, that all felt just completely right. And broke up and was looking for a new place. And then through all this, it just like really hit me that there's just so many people out there in the spiritual community, more people than we realize. And there's so many more people who are on that cusp, and they believe in angels, and they believe in guidance, and they believe in divine help. But again, it's not the normal conversation for normal people, especially if people are very religious. They don't feel comfortable. It's such an ironic thing, because where does all this come from? Religion is about angels and God and masters, right? But you say that you saw Jesus or talked to Mary, and you're crazy and you're a heretic, right? And that can't happen, right? It's nuts. So it's so funny, you know, that's the world that we created for ourselves. But anyway,
it's like we have to. It's like we have to see the divine experiences when they're in front of us, and not say this could only happen then. I've actually been asked questions like, but miracles can't happen now. That's like only for then. That's only for the heroes of the Bible.
Yeah.
You know, not for the normal everyday Joe.
Right.
But before we get into your next piece, because we're on this divine experience train, I'm going to interrupt you, because right now we have 8 people at home who are ready for their divine experience. We're talking about it, so get ready for it, everybody. You know. Okay, guys. So now self-assessment time from 1 to 10. 1 being the lowest amount of energy possible, 10 being the highest amount of energy possible. Where are you guys energetically right now? And I'm talking to you guys at home, and you too, Greg. But where are you guys at right now? This show is about creating divine experiences, and we can't do that without your interaction. So for right now, I feel like I'm at a good 9.6 when I do a check-in. I feel like I'm at a good 9.6. That's where I'm at. I feel confident in saying that. How about you, Greg?
So, well, you know, if I'm feeling a 6, and really I'm usually much higher than that, but it's been such just a long, draining week in a good way, but just so much going on and so draining that I'm definitely lower than I normally feel I am. So, and again, I'm going with the number that's feeling right for me, and it's a 6.
That's all right. And Holly's matching you with her 6 as well. And when I see 2 6s together, that means someone's on the right path. Sherry, she is at a 5, so she's right there in that middle point. Hello, Sherry. Okay, so thank you everybody for sharing. And so just put your phones down, take whatever it is out of your hands. I'm gonna call in the angels and we're gonna get started in a few seconds.
Divine encounters are all alive. Divine encounters, our life's design.
Okay, everyone at home, go ahead and close your eyes for the next 60 seconds and just allow yourself to breathe down into your spine, all the way down to your tailbone. And as you exhale, you're releasing what no longer serves you. And you're releasing a story, you're releasing the past, you're releasing the future. And on the next inhale in, you're going to breathe into your heart space, beautiful golden energy. And on that exhale, you're going to release that back into the universe. And just continue to breathe into that heart space and feel yourself really connect to yourself in a loving, compassionate way. This golden energy starts to expand all around you and engulf you in its beautiful light. And you're breathing into any tension, any places of discomfort, any tightness, and you're just breathing all that beautiful golden light in. And just bring gratitude to your heart space now. And with your left hand facing your right hand, bring your palms together and bring them to your heart space, acknowledging gratitude to yourself one more time. And that's our 60 seconds today. Namaste. And when you're ready, you can pick me up off the floor because it's cold down here. And you can open your eyes. And Greg, you can open your eyes too, even though your eyes are open. So, how are you feeling now, Greg? I'm going to let you know I feel heat in my whole spine. I'm sweating. I don't know if that camera's picking it up, but I am sweating and my spine is lit like a candelabra.
I'm feeling good. That was wonderful. I absolutely felt that, and it really helped and it centered me. And thank you.
Thank you. How about you guys at home now from 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest? Where is your number now? Did your number shift, Greg? Did it go up
I'm
anywhere
feeling
more?
an 8 now. I'm feeling an
Yeah,
8. Yeah.
I got a good 2 points
There you go.
there.
Look, there it is, an 8.
And yeah, and she matched you too. And Nelsie does now at a
Nice.
9. And everybody says they're hearing crickets. I hear them, but I'm not too sure where they're coming from. And sweating here too. I know we're doing our cardio today. So thank you guys for participating in that. And so, Greg, you were talking about divine experiences, and this is where we left off with you.
Yes, and I'm getting right into the good stuff. So my path took me into wanting to create something to help bring the spiritual community together and help put this out there. Like, how can I allow more people to have these experiences and to start tuning in and seeing things for themselves and experiencing things for themselves and having their own divine encounters, right? So I started with events. We did day-long events, and I was doing themes. And the one day event that we did, I was really feeling guided to make it all about angels. And I had already started seeing signs, and I'll talk a little bit more about that, because angel signs can come in so many different ways. And there's some typical signs, and then there's some signs that are very personal to you. And typical signs are things like you see the shape of an angel in the clouds, and you find a white feather like completely out of nowhere where it shouldn't be. And especially the biggest thing to remember is pay attention to your thoughts and what you've been asking for recently or even in that moment when you realize that there's a sign that's there for you. Because sometimes you ask and there is a delay, and it might be like a day later where something really hits you. But a lot of times it's like at that moment, like you're asking for help, and then like you trip and you look down and it's like an angel statue in somebody's yard or something. It's like that's and literally sometimes angels literally appear in those kind of forms, like statues or a picture of an angel, or it's on a billboard, or a car has something like that, and they come from all over the place. And for me, they did come in many different forms, but what stuck with me the most were my angel numbers, which are 1s and 4s. And when I did my angel event that day, it was supposed to start at noon. I wanted to be there at like 10:30, and I was running late and I'm freaking out. And I get there and I look at the time, and it was 11:14. 1-1-1-4.
4.
And that's when it started. So it was at that time that I arrived at my angel number day event, and because I was like freaking out so much, it really just stood out that was the time that I got there. And then throughout the day and moving forward, especially like that day and that week, it's like every time I looked, it was some variation of 1s and 4s. So it would be 11:44 was like the next time I looked at the clock, and I was like, oh, that's weird, right? And then it was like 1:14, and then like that night it was like 10:04. And so and it was very clear to me throughout that day, like they made it so clear that like these are the numbers we're giving you to connect with us, to let you know that we are here with you. And they have been there ever since, and it comes up in the craziest of ways. And especially when I talk about it, I was actually doing like just a quick little Facebook video the one night, and I was mentioning my angel numbers, and I looked at the clock, and it was 11:44, and I was like, oh my God, it's 11:44, and I'm talking about my numbers being ones and fours, and right then the lights flickered, and I was like, oh my God. And that's what I'm talking about like you talk about a divine encounter, like there's no way the lights just accidentally flickered at 11:44 when I happen to be talking about my angel numbers being ones and fours. Like that is totally a divine encounter right there. And that's how simple it is. And that's how the subtlest little things can mean so much when you put the pieces together and when you're really paying attention. And it
Yeah.
happened again. So I was talking about how we do expos, and I actually have an expo coming up this weekend. My last expo was in May, and once again, I was talking to somebody, and I was interviewing someone, and it came up angels, and I mentioned angel numbers, and I look at the clock, and it was, I think it was like 11:14 or something like that same number, and I was like, oh my God, like I just talked about how my numbers always show up, and I look at the clock, and it's 11:14. It was crazy, and it's like again, like you cannot even plan that when you try to, you know.
You can't. And it's so funny that you say that. Because then you start to recognize, okay, it starts to get stop being surprising. Then you start to recognize, I see you, I know what you're telling me,
Yeah.
I understand. And then you kind of plan around it. So like I just noticed, I didn't even know those were your numbers, first off and foremost. And me and Greg, I've known Greg a few years now, and I've been at his
Oh yeah.
expo doing readings, and I will be there doing readings for you guys this weekend. But I did not know that's why it was 11:14. Like I just got that November 14th. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the typical date that you normally pick, right? The
Well,
14th.
Well, no, because every weekend it's a different date. So
Oh,
we've
I could have
we've done
sworn
it.
it feels like it's always been
Yeah.
around the same
I
timeline.
mean, it is typically around that, but sometimes it's like the 12th and 13th, and whatever. It just so happens that this year it falls on 11:14 and 11:15. And we were just talking about this before the show started. You said, "Hey, do you want to come on the show Wednesday?" I'm like, "Sure." I had no idea what date it was, and it wasn't until today that I realized it's 11:11. I'm like, "Oh my God, we're talking about angel numbers on 11:11." Like it doesn't get any better than that.
No, and it's good that we're talking about this. And I like that the way you expressed earlier how there is no size to miracles or divine encounters, so that other people can see in their homes, well, not in their homes, but in their environment, that there are blessings and miracles that happen to them every day. And I also want to state on that is there's a lot of things that don't happen to us, that don't ever get to reach us, that don't ever get to touch us, and they're like miracles without us even being aware.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's very important. So, do you guys at home have any numbers that you attribute to the divine? Where is the weirdest place you feel like you've had not seen these numbers, or like have you been woken up out of your sleep and then it's exactly that number, or that's for you, Greg?
Yeah, that's always a good one. Um, Probably. I mean, nothing that stands out. And well, the funny thing too is because it really relates to exactly where you are. Because I also have a Doreen Virtue Angel Number book, and so when like, it's a cool book because like if there's a certain number. So again, for me, the ones and fours, I created this definite connection with the angels. But even outside of that, just every now and then, there's certain number sequences that show up like 3 or 4 times in a day to really get your attention. So there have been times where I've woken up like 2 or 3 nights in a row at exactly the same time, and it might be like 2:21, and just a little bit of an off time that it kind of sticks with you. And so those are the times that I'm like, okay, and I'll go to my little angel number book and look it up, and it always relates to exactly what's happening, in that day.
That, and I actually have that book too. So if you guys don't have it, I do recommend getting that little book. Is it the little square one? Like a little
Yes.
square one? Yeah, that's the one I had. It's really awesome. And it has helped me too. And it's funny because we're talking about numbers, and the night of Friday coming into no, Thursday coming into Friday, and then Friday coming into Saturday, I woke up exactly Friday night or Friday morning and Saturday morning at 2:22.
There
And I
you
was
go.
just like, what is happening here? Like this is really specific. And but then I recognized that there was this global shift happening because that's those were very specific numbers. And I was
Yes.
just like, whoa, this is crazy with these numbers.
Yes.
Scorpios 111
Yeah,
222
exactly.
33333.
Yeah, I'm glad they posted that because for a lot of people, and it's kind of it's just that divine sequence of the triple numbers, and I've always attributed triple numbers to the divine, and kind of when I started before the angel numbers started coming through, that was a big thing for me was seeing like the 111, 222, 333, and that's really what got my attention with the numbers being a sign, that I was on the right place or the right track, or a lot of times for me, especially right now with my angel numbers, it's a reassurance, like because sometimes no matter how well things are going, and even if you're on your spiritual path and doing your meditating and stuff, we live in this world where we're always surrounded by some form of chaos and just things pulling us away from our centeredness, and it's very easy. You go out into the world and it's very easy to get pulled down by other people and their thoughts and negativity and all that stuff. So there's lots of times where I'm just like, all right, like stay with me, like help me out here, and I will see my ones and fours all day long. And it's one of those things where, yeah, you happen to glance at the time a lot throughout the day, but if I look at the clock like 10 times and 8 out of those 10 times are ones and fours, like that is just beyond an accident. That
Yes.
is clearly them coming through saying, we are with you, like we're always with you, we got you, and you
Do you
got
have
you.
any guidance for anybody who wants to work with numbers or wants to open themselves up in that way where they can allow numbers to be their guiding force? Do you have
Yeah.
any like tips for that?
Well, absolutely. It is always ask and receive, and it's ask whoever you work with or want to work with. So, and especially when it comes to angels, right? So if you want to make a connection with angels, it just starts with asking. Say, please, angels, I know you're there. I know you're with me. Please show yourself to me. And it's okay to be insecure about it. It's okay to be like, I need some proof. I need to know that you're there. Please show yourself in some way. And if you want it to come through numbers, you can ask. You can ask for anything you want. You can be as specific as you want. Um, but it's like, they tell you like when you're manifesting things, I've heard it both ways, where it's like if you're too specific, you might kind of miss it, and you
Right.
need, because you get what you need, right? It's not always what you want, and it's more about being open to what you need. But when it does come to like the little things, like please show me through numbers that you're with me, and you can manifest that. They will listen. They will come through, and it can be your angels, your guides. It can be whoever it is that is with you, your ancestors. But they will come through in a way that you are asking for. The one time I asked specifically, I was like, let me see a cloud, that lets me know that you were there, and it
Wow.
worked. And because there's so many different signs, like angels and clouds, angel statues, angel numbers, like it's all there. And in fact, I don't even know if I mentioned this to you, but I'm actually writing a book. I call it a metaphysical novel because it's a story, but it's also a guide about connecting with your angels. And it's called Angel. And it's about a family that's struggling and kind of falling apart. And this woman learns to connect with her guardian angel, the whole family does, and how there's signs, and all the signs start popping up all around her, letting her know that she's on the right track. And it's based on real life experiences that I've had and other people have had, that the signs are there.
That sounds very powerful. And if you guys at home have any questions for Greg, I can see your comments right here in the comment section below. So you guys can feel free to ask him any questions and relating to his story tonight that you feel like is relevant. I think that's really powerful. I've had some interesting interactions with numbers. Sometimes when I would look and then I would think like I'm looking at one thing and then look again and it's actually like not the same thing. So it'd be like
Yes.
my numbers 911 or 1111, those are my numbers. And I would see, let's say, a phone number and then I would clearly see my numbers there, but then you look back and it's just like, wait a minute, those are completely different numbers.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, and I've had that happen where, it's actually like 714, but when I look, I see 114. It might even just be that something's blocking like that part of the seven. So I clearly see a 114, and then I was like, so even when it's like the wrong time, it's the right time, right?
Exactly. So it can't just be your coincidences. Sometimes it is like very specific for you. We're gonna change this whole number.
Yeah. And
Scorp Zero has a statement. I asked Spirit if they loved me, and they showed me a heart, and it was unexpected, and I loved it.
that's
Oh,
beautiful. That's
thank you.
beautiful. I got to add this in though, because you said your numbers were nines and ones, and so are mine. And so you ready for this? So, right, what a coincidence. The ones and fours are my angel numbers, but before that, like I was saying, like when I got on my path, like there were other numbers showing up, and it was so. And for me, it was just my connection to the divine, my connection to God, and they showed up as nines and ones. And it's because my birthday is 9/1, 1974, and the 7/4 is also an 11 if you add it together. So for me, I see that as like 9/1, 19/11, like, so it's just like 9/11. And and here's the thing too, because it's about what's right for you, and what you can kind of stretch things a little bit, and I'm okay with that, because I graduated high school in 92, but for me, I still see that as like a 9 and 11, and the 1 and 1 equals 2.
Right.
So like
Right.
I still kind of piece it together that there's a connection there. Like, why wasn't it 91? It's 92. Well, if you put 911, it can be a 9 and a 2. But yeah, but the nines and ones, because that connection with my birthday when I first got on the path, like that was actually the numbers that came through for me as a divine connection to things being okay, were the nines and ones coming through. And then it shifted when I had my day all about the angels, and that's when it shifted to the ones and fours.
Oh, okay. I understand. It was just like your the building up until you truly found your calling of numbers, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of calling of numbers and intuitive building, you guys know what time it is. It's that time. Get the husband, get the wife, get everybody else, because we're about to test you with the Apollo games. Okay, and if this is your first time, this is an intuition building exercise, and you're going to place your hand on your heart and just invite your inner child to come up and bring that jovial, joyful, innocent energy up to the forefront. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to press Mr. Campisi here a question, and all of you guys at home as well. And you will have some options to choose from. In the comment section below, you're going to place in your prediction, and then we're going to come back and see if you're correct. Do you think you got what it takes? If you do, you're going to win from me a one of a kind, authentic, genuine, social distancing high five. Okay. Are you ready, Greg, to
I'm
try
ready.
to win my very unique prize? I think he's ready.
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Here's the question. Pay attention.
Which crown is behind the pillow? Is it Freya crown, Apollo crown, Gaia crown, Princess crown? Leave your comment in the comment section below.
All right.
Okay, you're going to have till the end of this music, you too, Greg, to tap in and see what your answer is. Okay, Greg.
All
You're all
right.
tapped in. What is your answer?
I am feeling it's the Gaia crown.
The Gaia crown. What about you guys at home? What are you feeling it is? It was the Freya crown, the Apollo crown, the Gaia crown, and the Princess crown. Scorp Zero says it is the Apollo crown. Alyssa says it's the Freya crown. Holly says Freya crown. Tiffany says she's on board with you. She says Gaia crown. Go Team Gaia. And Philly Duck says left. That is not an option, sir.
And no one has picked the princess.
No one picked the princess. No one wants to be a princess. So let's see what the answer is, shall we?
Which crown is behind the pillow? Is it Freya crown, Apollo crown, Gaia crown, Princess crown? Leave your comment in the comment section below. Reveal time! Did you guess Freya crown?
Don't worry, Greg. You get a fist bump, a participation fist bump. And for everybody at high five, who won because I am a woman of my word. So high five for all of you guys. May it get there in a very timely delivery. Greg's high fiving you guys too. Remember, there are never any losers here on Divine Encounters, only the wrong answers. So no worries. Holly goes, woot woot. Let's get that. Woot woot. Holly got it. Alyssa's like, hey, she also got it. Good job, guys. I post a new one of these pretty much daily on my TikTok at the Oracle of Apollo, so you can build your inner child and your intuition. Oh my goodness, Tiffany says, I always lose these. Oh, my mom said that last week and then she finally got it right. Don't worry. Don't claim that into the universe. I'm not claiming it for you. You're going to get this next time. Greg is guaranteeing that.
Right?
He said
She didn't
so.
get it wrong. She tuned into what I picked and got it and got that.
You got Greg's answer right.
Right?
Okay, Greg. First of all, thank you for being here again. I really appreciate you and all of the beautiful energy you have. And I hope you guys stay tuned because we're about to jump into the midweek collective, and then we're going to bring Greg up here to see if he has anything to add to that. But Greg, could you please let everyone at home know where they can get a hold of you if they so happen to need to?
Absolutely. Well, the main thing is this weekend coming up, we have an online expo. You can find out all the information at awakenexpo.org. It's an awesome event. We have over 50 different presenters. We're going to have speakers and meditations and healings and readings, and it's just an awesome experience. And you can find out all the information there, awakenexpo.org. You can also find out more about my organization, Awaken, at awakenche.org, and reach me at greg@awakenche.org. You want me to say more?
Sorry about that, friend. Okay, thank you. And as well, I will be at Greg's Expo too. Shameless plug. You can get a reading with me still. My calendar is still open. It may not still be open by the time the weekend comes because it books, but
Yes.
it is still open and you're getting a 50% off discount just because we're doing the expo with Greg. And so if you want to get a multi-dimensional trance reading with me and see more of Greg's lovely face, you can just check me out at his expo website and the Oracle of Apollo. You guys know.
Yes. Yes. And because it's an online expo, you can actually go on and book your session now with Dominique for that weekend. You do not have to wait for the weekend to book your session.
And you don't even have to be here in Pennsylvania to book your session.
That's right.
So, I mean, usually this session is, these expos are done physical.
Yes.
And I feel also like maybe it's a little bit inconvenient to have to redo this whole thing on the internet. But I appreciate that this is available for people beyond. I feel like
Yes.
there is no border with this now.
It
And
is
all
true.
of you guys at home, no matter where you are, maybe you're lonely, maybe you're looking for guidance, maybe where you live, you don't have anything like this. So this is access. This is
Yeah.
access. So I thank
It's
everybody.
perfect. It's perfect timing. It's a perfect event to give you that uplift and help raise your vibe and get you centered again and be in that beautiful, loving energy. And it is all weekend long. And then we record everything. But there's so many benefits to doing it online because, like you said, it's freedom, right? That was the card earlier, right? Freedom and what, like happiness. Doing it online is just complete freedom that anyone, anywhere around the world can join. And when we did this during lockdown, we had an online expo in May. It was the first online one we did. We literally had people from around the world joining in, and even people from other states were so happy that we were doing it online and they could participate. And then we record it so you can even come back and see the things that you missed or rewatch anything that you want to.
And I think the whole fee for the whole weekend is pretty affordable just to participate.
Yes.
How much was that? Was it?
It is only $25 for the entire weekend, and we also put out coupon codes as well. And I don't remember what your coupon code is, Dominique, if you want to share it or not. I mean, I know
I
my
don't
code.
remember getting a coupon code.
All right. Well, I know my code is Awaken 2020. If you put in Awaken 2020, you get $5 off. I'll look up Dominique's code and we can share that too, so she gets some credit.
All right. So thank you, Greg. I'm going to pop you in the back, and I hope you guys hang out with me now because we're going to do the midweek collective reading. And this is a reading for everybody that's here currently and going into the rest of the week. So let's see what it is. Okay, coming into the midweek collective energy here. I'm gonna go ahead. I have new cards today. Yay! I have these new animal cards here. We were using some other animal cards, but I really wanted some new animal cards. So therefore we have it. All right. So earlier for the collective energy check-in for the good news, it was all about freedom. And I just want to really point that out. And Greg talked a little bit about today about these numbers, and we're jumping right in and intuition, right? Everything he was talking about today was about intuition. But as we look at this, look at the card that we have. Interestingly enough, we actually have the raven card. Raven, being a bird, is a messenger bird, but raven specifically is the actual bird of Apollo. Wait, where's Apollo? Where are you, Apollo? Right there. It is Apollo's bird, and as well as it's the messenger to say, hey, look into your inner self. There are shadow realms inside of you that need exploring. There are depths inside of you of emotion that need to be seen. And I feel that very strongly here. There's a lot of emotion stirring, and it's about owning your own power. It's recognizing and looking within myself, because you can't fake confidence, okay? You can fake charisma, but you can't really fake confidence. It's something that's inside of you that kind of just emerges. That is your power center. And if you get to know that part of you and that aspect of yourself, in that inner self, you're going to radiate that. So I really feel very strongly that this is about owning your power here. Here we have the Mintakan card, and it says longing for home, belonging to the original light workers. Some of you may be feeling like lonely. The coronavirus is here. So for some of us, this is like physical, like I haven't had a hug, I haven't had a touch. I don't feel like I belong. Maybe for some people, like with Greg, he opened a center, and me as well. I had opened a center, and then people from different places could come and find one another and unite and feel like a sense of belonging. And now with this expo happening this weekend, it's kind of like the same thing but digital, finding a place you belong. So if you haven't, I feel like this is a message for you this week to explore the option of doing something like that. Signs from above. Literally, today's whole episode is all about signs from above and numbers, right? So I'm entertaining the idea of allowing myself to be open to seeing numbers as patterns in my life and as messages. And I invite you to do the same, because it's going to allow you to expand. And maybe you're not tactile. Maybe you don't have deep dreams. Maybe you don't have visions. Maybe meditation's not for you. And these numbers come up so effortlessly, just letting you know this is a manner in which they are guiding you. This is not a conversation just because. There is no coincidences here. There's a lot of rebirth, renewal happening here, which does not surprise me since we have that Raven power card happening. This is the world card. This is about cycles. So you will be going into a cycle that you've already experienced, but now what's different is maybe the faces are different, but the underlying lesson is still the same. However, you have come into that place of power, or at least you're being given the message to come into your place of power and explore that place of power. So that way, when you go into a cycle that you've already gone through, you're coming into it with fresh eyes, a fresh understanding. So you're not reacting the way that you've reacted previously, because otherwise the cycle wouldn't be repeating. So there is a lesson here. I feel like that we're coming and learning thanks to the divine. Let's see. I actually want to pull some clarity cards on here. All right, let's see what the clarity cards are. The clarity cards here for the world are well-being, which I feel as though we have the number 22 here, which equals 4, and then we also have the numerology number 4, because these cards attribute numerology, zodiac, and the regular tarot numbers. So 4 is all about support. It's all about stability. This is awareness. So we have this sign of well-being for awareness. Finding your power is going to allow you to align and center yourself to be that which you're meant to be walking into. Okay. This well-being is self-care, understanding what my needs are. I feel like a lot of child energy in this as well. So that way we can look at our life through innocent eyes, and curiosity is the energy that I am feeling here. Curiosity. So we have more of that emotional energy, like the raven. The moon is definitely raven-esque, because she's all about emotions, depths, mysteries, instinct. discovery. So with that child energy that I just stated, I do feel this is crossing that. And this is for all for a reason. You're growing right now, you're being instinctive, you're adding to the power, you're seeing the signs, and this is all because you are in the magician phase, you are in the magician cycle, you are the performer. Creativity, illusion, power is mentioned again here. So I definitely want to state, when I see something more than once, it's kind of like, hammering the nail into the coffin, saying, hey, this really needs to be looked at. So I feel like a lot of you are coming into that state of power. So don't be afraid. You're being assisted. Look at the blessings that you're going to be receiving around this serenity. So that's letting you know that things are going to be working out. You don't have to have so much worry. Just surrender it to your angels. And for those of you who are seeing this for the first time, this card are not tarot cards. These are blessing cards. And they are blessing cards because before I open this feed, I actually open an angel portal and I connect to everyone that's here, and I establish an angelic heart link here so that way you guys can have this energy expedited into your energy field. And you're being given the blessing of courage. This does You have power. So it's kind of like, what are you going to do with that power? We're giving you courage and bravery so that you can look into it and own it. Because honestly, we think, well, I know what I want. So as soon as I get it, I know I'm going to go for it. But that's not always the case. Sometimes we have fears or underlying things that are in that mystery area, and we kind of self sabotage and don't recognize that we're actually squandering a blessing. So you're being given the blessing of courage. So because that's not going to happen, that's why it's the blessing. And they know it's not going to happen now because they're going to align you and it's going to be exactly what it needs to be. And you're going to be able to take the appropriate amount of action, another blessing, the appropriate amount of action at divine timing. So I feel like this is very, look at peace. This is aligning with the serenity card there. So I feel like this time is the right time to look in yourself, own your power, state your confidence, acknowledge your signs, seek, set your compass to true north, and search for that home that you belong, that place where you know where you're going to find peace because you are with your people. And I feel like the angels are blessing you with all of that today and more. And claim this right now in the comment section. This or something even better, I claim it. And thank you all for that. Is the midweek collective energy tech check-in. So I really honor you guys. Oh no, internet connection. I hope that's not on my end. I really feel like this for me. Thank you guys. You can feel free to add. I'm bringing Greg back up here. You guys can feel free to add any comments, concerns, or thoughts about the angel blessings or uh reading. Okay, cool. Greg just gave me the promo code. I'll put it in the comment section. Greg, what do you have any thoughts on what we just talked about?
Yeah, well, the cards, the first three cards, I mean, you talk about what we're doing at the expo, right? The expo is all about being back home, being in that energy of home, connecting with your soul family, and it's all about you being empowered. And we call it the Healing Expo. For it's healing, mind, body, and soul. And the funny thing is, this real quick, this goes back to like, when I first started getting into all this, and a lot of people have this idea of psychics, and you think about boardwalk psychics and crystal balls and
Yeah.
tarot cards and stuff, and like you're going to get a husband and a new car and whatever. But real intuitives that are really there, that are anchoring that light and in touch with the higher realms. It's not about the like surface entertainment reading. It's really about guidance. And that's why like I love the people that I know and the readers that we bring in, because the readings that they give you are readings about helping you where you are, helping you get unstuck, helping you get into your own power, and helping you heal yourself.
Absolutely. And that's very important. It's for entertainment, but it's not for entertainment.
It is.
It's for your soul
It
to
is. And it's funny,
develop
I
and
forgot to
grow.
unplug my phone. It's ringing. We're getting the call. The call.
This is a sign from above. If the phone is your key, there you go. I was talking to someone the other day and I was leaving them a message. You're gonna love this. And it was 4 minutes and 11 seconds long.
Yes, there you go.
And they sent me a message exactly at the same exact time, 2:15, and they sent me a message that was 4 minutes and 11 seconds long exactly. And then my message was all about a synchronicity with the dog that I had, that the angels were showing me, a Labrador. And then as soon as I listened to his message, the first thing I heard was bark, 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 bark. And I'm like, is that a dog? Oh my goodness. What is this synchronicity? There's signs everywhere. So I hope I hope this episode enlightened you a little bit
Yes.
about miracles are all around us and divine experiences are all around us.
Yeah, and the
Thank you, Greg.
synchronicities are always a huge sign. Watch for the synchronicities. Don't dismiss
Yes.
them.
Don't dismiss anything. Keep a journal. That way you can keep track of what's happening around you. And, when in doubt, reach out, right? Thank you, everybody, for being here. I hope you guys join me for Sunday night's horoscope for next week at 7 p.m. Eastern time, of course. From me, thank you for creating this divine experience. Without your interactions, what are we doing here, right? From me, above all else, may you all go in love, light, and wisdom to know thyself. Love thyself, and remember the divine always has your back.
I am the oracle of Apollo. Come share your light with me. These messages I follow, restoring balance unto thee. Do not be afraid, your Father saving grace. Do not hesitate, let's reignite your